Hello and welcome. You are watching In Your Interest here on News 9. I am Krishna Kumar. And tonight we focus on the tragic incident that left Bengaluru grieving and demanding answers. The Stampede on the 4th of June that claimed 11 lives and injured more than 50 people during what should have been a joyous celebration for the Royal Challengers Bangalore's maiden IPL victory. But months later, as one more investigation wraps up, it points the finger squarely at the organisers. The state CID report blames RCB, the Karnataka State Cricket Association, and the event management firm DNA, while giving a clean chit to its political boss, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, and the police force. With the CID now ready to file a massive 2,200-page charge sheet approved by the High Court, the question hangs heavy. Where does the buck stop in this chain of failures? Who truly bears responsibility for turning a day of excitement into heartbreak and tragedy? In its detailed report, the CID claims that the celebrations were thrown together without proper warning and planning. The organizers also skipped a mandatory pre-event meeting. There was no real communication between the organizers and the police, turning a simple crowd control issue into a nightmare. Confusion over tickets, fueled by fake tweets and wild rumors, sparked a massive surge as fans rushed to the gates that they thought were open. DNA, the event company tasked with the security, failed to roll out even a basic plan, and the private security agency they hired proved useless when it mattered the most. The report claims that there is overwhelming evidence piled up against RCB, the Karnataka State Cricket Association or KSCA, and DNA, the event firm, and held them directly accountable for the deaths. But this is not the first time fingers have been pointed at the organizers. The magisterial inquiry back in July called out the rushed event, saying that it was pushed ahead even as police raised objections. It also admitted that the government's poor preparation for a crowd swelling past 2.5 lakh people, highlighting inadequate security setups despite clear red flags and no permissions sought at all. Then came the one-man Judicial Commission under Justice Michael D'Cunha in July, which blamed misleading announcements by organizers and poor coordination between everyone involved as the main trigger for the disaster. The Central Administrative Tribunal offered some cover for the cops, saying that they had too little notice and overturned a few suspensions even. It shifted much of the blame onto RCB for going ahead without the green light that they needed. And in the government's own status report to the High Court that same summer, they owned up to not foreseeing the crowd size and pinned the rush on organizers as social media hype that stirred up the confusion. Now, all these reports target the same villain, blaming organizers like RCB, KSCA and DNA for the mess, but they leave the government and the police walking away with barely a scratch. Is the Siddaramaiah administration really blameless here? Let's take a look at some facts. Police logs confirm RCB's team left their hotel at 4:45 p.m., a full hour after the 3:30 p.m. Stampede had already struck. In this context, why did the government let the Vidhana Saudha event kick off at 4:52 p.m. and the stadium show roll into 5:33 p.m. as if nothing had happened? Then the government's status reports insists neither the state nor the Chief Minister organized the stadium event. But then why did Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar step in to legitimize and attend it nearly 2 hours after the tragedy? The government even told the High Court that their police acted like servants to RCB and the organizers, which raises another puzzle. Is the government really claiming that its own force ran wild without oversight? The big questions that we're asking tonight: should the buck stop with the event hosts only? or also with the government and the police? How do we prevent another tragedy if everyone involved keeps passing the blame? And now, to get some answers to those questions and more, we have some very special guests joining us here on In Your Interest. We have Mr. Bhaskar Rao, former Commissioner of Police, Bengaluru, and BJP spokesperson joining us. Thank you for being with us, sir. We also have Satya Prakash, Vice President and spokesperson, KPCC. We have Mayank Arora, partner, Chambers of Bharat Chug and advocate, Supreme Court. We also have Sandeep Aniruddhan, civic activist, Bengaluru, joining us. Thank you, all of you, for taking time out to be with us. Let me quickly begin by asking Mr. Bhaskar Rao. We've seen all the reports so far, and all the reports only point to the KSCA, RCB, and the event organizers as the ones responsible for it. If they were the ones responsible for it, how come there was nobody else apart from them? Because there is a state machinery that is part and parcel of organizing this event.
The CID reports only one line is, it is his master's voice that is speaking. Hello?
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
Can you hear? Am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
It is only his master's voice that is speaking. You could have seen the kind of frenzy that was there on the day, in which people had gone absolutely out of control. That doesn't mean government also should go out of control. Government also went out of control.
Was the police under control, sir? If I were to ask you that?
The police had a tough time keeping everybody into control, including the government. But
okay.
When they ordered for a CID inquiry, then a magisterial inquiry, then an inquiry by the judge over there, where does the final buck stop here? The organizers of this entire tamasha is neither RCB nor DNA nor KCA. It was done by the state government at the behest of these organizations. So it is incumbent upon the state to have prepared. So how will CID blame the chief minister, deputy chief minister and the chief secretary for all? And going by police logs, you would have seen the damage had already been done when the function started over there. So in a cover-up, they have done it. And it's unfortunate that till today, compensation has not been fully paid even to those innocent youngsters who had just come to see their heroes and their heroes of the RCB over there.
Okay.
So this is absolutely expected. So it will sort of go into the annals that nothing can be done. You are sitting on a chair and taking a decision over there.
Fair enough.
How long will people come and keep hounding you? You should have had a moral responsibility of owning up for the tragedy. Now we can't teach morals to a government that is totally morally bankrupt and it is in a moral...
Satya Prakash, isn't it the moral responsibility of the government, which is, without whose permission this event would not have even gone ahead in the first place?
Satyameva Jayate. Lies has limited shelf life. All the lies propagated by BJP, the opposition parties, the media. Today, justice has prevailed. Truth has prevailed. The CID, whatever investigation, is in tune with what the single judge, Mr. Kunuha and all said. And my friend, Mr. Bhaskar Rao, saying that the CID report is his master's voice. Mr. Bhaskar Rao himself has worked in the police department of the Karnataka police for around 25 to 30 years. Does he say that all his years of service was his masters of service, whichever government was there when he was at the helm of affairs? No, we should not tell like that. We should give due credibility to the organizations which have done their job. They have gone through hundreds of videos, hundreds of CCTV cameras. They have met hundreds of people. They have interacted with thousands of people. They have taken a lot of 2,000 page charge sheet is filed. They are given in the High Court, and a senior police officer himself, a super cop himself, Mr. Bhaskar Rao, saying that the CID, which is a prestigious institution, which has done so much of good work, so many good investigations they have done, calling them his master's voice, it's not good on an institution.
Okay, quickly, I want to take it to the other panelists. Mr. Bhaskar Rao, a quick question to you. When you say that this report is something, then you're casting aspersions on the state CID as well, aren't you?
Who is the owner of state CID? And it is crystal clear. You don't even need any organization to say that over there. The entire sequence of events is laid threadbare in front of each and every person of the state. What answer will you give to the people who have died, to the next of kin, that I am not responsible, he is responsible, she is responsible? The state should hang its head in shame, instead of not saying, okay, they may have had some culpable responsibilities, but who is the overall responsible into the whole thing?
Okay, point taken.
Opportunity of working at all the highest levels over there.
Okay.
But what Satya Prakash ji is saying is that why are you casting aspersions? It is not aspersion. Bulldozed it into making a decision. Will the CID indict the chief minister and the deputy chief minister just because Virat Kohli had to go back urgently? So they went backward and tried to do it.
Okay.
The truth.
Okay, fine. Let me begin. Mayank Arora as well. Mayank Arora.
In that case, any investigation, you cannot do anything then.
Okay.
The CBI also reports to the Home Minister.
Okay.
The ED also reports to the Home Minister. The IT also reports. So are you saying that we should not have any faith in the democracy, in these institutions and the judiciary? Tomorrow the High Court tells also, you will tell the same thing, isn't it?
Okay.
So we have to have enough faith on our mechanisms. All these constitutional mechanisms that we have.
Okay, Satya Prakash and Bhaskar Rao, stay with us. Let's get the other panelists in as well. I will be coming back to you for sure. Mayank Arora, partner, Chambers of Bharat, Chug, and advocate, Supreme Court. Thank you for being with us and patiently standing by. Mayank, talk to us from the magisterial inquiry in July to now the state CID report. The court has heard all of it. Do you think there is a case here to make more parties responsible for this than the repeated mentioning of the same three, which is RCB, the Karnataka State Cricket Association, and the event firm DNA?
Look, in the month of July, the Honorable High Court said that no charge sheet will be filed till a permission is taken. So clearly, there will be a scrutiny by the court on whether all the actors that are responsible have been implicated or not. Now, to answer your specific question, I definitely see there is a case.
Okay.
And it's a case because an unfortunate tragedy had descended upon us. A celebration became a crime scene. And look, Krishna, this is not new. 2021, there was a Travis Scott concert in Texas. And we had so many lessons to learn. There is an LCAP order that says that if you want to organize a set of people or you want to conduct a procession, you need to take a permission. But why are we as administration not catching up to the reality that in today's date, with 21 million followers on Instagram, RCB can rake up a large crowd in a matter of seconds, especially when they're announcing free passes. And to be honest, you're absolutely right. There were a large crowd already there at 3 p.m. before any announcement was made. And then the post-event conduct, when lives are getting lost outside, people are getting hurt. You are still continuing with the celebrations is also a little ironic and tragic at the same time. So, in the other jurisdictions, what's happening is that they are imputing a lot of civil liability, if not criminal liability, on all kinds of administrations. They are saying that all of these lives lost have to be compensated in some manner. Now, I have read certain sections of the charge sheet and I realize 304A is 304 is difficult to be made out. It clearly is a rash and negligent act on a lot of actors. But you say this amounts to a culpable homicide, not amounting to murder, may not be the standard. We'll all test it in the court. I have to also see it like a defense lawyer and how the counsels will play it out in the court. But if you ask me, I think we are far behind in trying to renovate our laws to the order of the day. When we are living in the age of social media where followers can be gathered up, when there's already built up in a city which is infamous for its own traffic, then at that point in time, why no advisory could have been issued that no such event or offer should be sent out to the fans because things can get out of control. We have so many lessons to learn, but I think we are all not learning it together. While I can understand there are sentiments on either side, but I think more actors should be accountable, and if not criminally, personally, then at least civilly to compensate these victims.
Right, Sandeep, then that's the important reason why we're having this conversation, isn't it? Lessons need to be learned. First of all, if you're not able to, identify where the fault lies and who all does the fault lie with, how will you be able to learn anything to ensure that another tragedy doesn't never happen again?
Krishna Kumar, I think it's fairly obvious what led to the crisis. It is because a due process was not followed. It's public knowledge that to hold any event of scale where there is a large crowd gathering, there is a process of application being made to the police, firstly, to the local administration, which is the city government, the BBMP at that time probably, and only after the permission is got is an event supposed to be held. No such permission was given. Now, you may say then the event organizers are the actual culpable party.
Yeah.
But then the government was an equal partner in this event. Chief Minister participated in the event. The Deputy Chief Minister participated in the event, which means now the head of, the top minister in the state and the second minister in the state participating in an event means there is a protocol that has to be followed. They have to evaluate whether this event is above board, whether the process has been followed. Or else, we are just a banana republic.
Otherwise, it's already this huge contradiction, isn't it? An official permission that was not given, and yet the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister is part of that event.
Precisely. Now, let me pose a question to you. If there was a city government, we don't have an elected city government.
Okay.
If there was a mayor elected, now don't tell me, had this event,
Sandeep, stay with us. Mr. Satya Prakash has a counter.
Gone for the mayor?
Okay, Sandeep, we'll come back to you. Satya Prakash, please go ahead.
With due regards to my friend Sandeep and Rizal, two events happened. The event in Vidhan Saudha was a government event, and it was in an open field. That means even if 30,000 more come, there is no problem. It's open. Everywhere it is open. In that particular program of the government, there was no problem. And that is where the CM had gone. CM had not gone to the KSCA. Second, listen to me. The second point was of KSCA. KSCA is a closed stadium. The highest number of people you can accommodate in KSCA is hardly around 55 to 60,000. How did they give free tickets, you tell me? For a stadium with 55 to 60,000, the government didn't ask them to give free. They didn't seek the permission of the government that we are going to give free. If they had sought the permission, then government would have acted. They have not taken any permission from the government authorities. So entirely the blame lies with the organizers. Here, the RCB, the KSCA, because since it is hosting the stadium belongs to them, and DNA, which is their PR agency. So all three people have been rightly indicted in this particular case. What has the government got to do with it? But we have a moral responsibility. The government doesn't shirk away from its moral responsibility. We had a responsibility. If not, there would have been more deaths, more than 11.
Okay, if I were to ask you, how are you owning up to that moral responsibility as the government?
You have seen the commissioner was shunted out. The DCPs were shunted out. Only after a CAT order, I think Mr. Bhaskar Rao knows, the courts again reinstated them. It was not the government. So we had to listen to the courts. When the CAT orders, we have listened to them. And second thing is, now we are going to put things in place. A particular SOP is going to be, now we are not going to give permission. Anyone without Tom, Dick and Harry, without permissions cannot hold any event in public places. That is why, even RSS, we are not giving permission. Every organization has to seek permission before they use public spaces.
Okay.
Like KSCA, whether it is KSCA.
Bhaskar Rao.
So after that particular thing, we have learned our lessons.
Okay, Bhaskar Rao, the Satya Prakash of the Congress party is saying the fact that they have learned their lessons. They did shunt out officers who are to be held responsible. Action has been taken.
The government has got blood on its hands. Satya Prakash ji is making a vain attempt to defend the government. But anyhow, people have no strength to fight with the government. They have lost their loved ones. Everybody has learned valuable lessons. In fact, when I have interacted with people, now people say that it is foolish for us to go and see and those people who will not even look at us also over there. The government at the head is the one who is responsible for all the law and order issues that take place. By merely shunting out a police commissioner who had clearly mentioned that this should be done after 2 days. Now, if you see the sequence of events, first time RCB has won. Earlier, Kolkata Knight Riders have won, Chennai Super Kings won over there, and Mumbai Knight Riders. When do they hold the celebration? After 2 days, when the frenzy has come down. Even after elections also, when we don't allow victory procession to be carried on the same day. We do it after 2 days because the frenzy is too high, difficult to control. But the government came under the grip of these organizers over there and buckled under pressure. I don't know for what consideration. But anyhow, they got into this decision making in a very great haste, and their chief minister is waving an RCB flag with a national flag on his bonnet of his car over there. Means people had lost their mental balance after Means the Honorable CM, Deputy CM ought to behave in a dignified way. How it has to be carried out over there? People can become go out of control. A Deputy Chief Minister is expected to maintain some dignity and protocol in his behavior over there. But anyhow, Prakash ji will not agree with all these things over there. But now you are government. These people who have lost their kith and kin, they have no strength to come and fight with you. Your organization has given a clean chit to your government over there. And you say nothing happened in Vidhan Saudha, everything happened. You are not the Chief Minister of only Vidhan Saudha around. You are the Chief Minister of the whole state.
Okay.
You are to take precaution. And I'll tell you, I have been Commissioner of Police. I have held additional DG law and order positions over there. Whenever a program of such magnitude takes place, there is a meeting under the chairmanship of the Chief Secretary, and everybody's responsibility is rolled out over there. What prevented? If the meeting had taken place, Chief Secretary would have told her, keep 100 ambulances, keep ropes over there, keep everybody's response. So everybody took decisions the way they wanted to do it over there. Today you are blaming RCB and KSCA. Okay, they'll all fight out in the court over there, and they'll wriggle out and say that ultimately the government. And I'll tell you,
given permission to them, as the government given permission to them, is there a letter there? Simple.
Nobody is going to be convicted. Everybody will be acquitted.
That brings me to the other question. Fair enough. Mayank Arora, right now the prima facie of the case is that there is no permission given, and yet you had the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister of the state legitimizing it. How will the court, how does this hold up in court? That's my question. Mayank Arora.
That's difficulty, and that's what I want to say, that it's not just about moral responsibility, it's a failure of administrative machinery completely. And the fact that there is no permission, the permission under LCAP 2009 order is that you need to take permission when you're trying to take out a procession.
Yeah.
Now here, the offer on the social media, as I understand it, was that we are offering some free passes to certain people. Now, is that a call for holding a procession? There was an event that was already happening with permissions. Now, the difficulty is the investigation that you're also doing will eventually lead some of these people to go scot-free. We will say on debates and media that all of it, everybody has been held accountable. But if we were morally responsible, where is the amendment in law? Where is the amendment in that LCAP 2009 order saying that any such offer, especially when you know there is a likelihood of a large crowd gathering and a mishap happening, should be controlled and should not be sent out on any social media channels. There should be an embargo by the government. There should have been directives by the police. So unfortunately, I am not in agreement with the fact that there has been accountability taken. If accountability was taken, there would have been a change in the law. There would have been a change in that order. And with regards to senior people attending, they were attending an event, and this possibly to me will be the biggest route for all the accused people. They would say that, look, I was not organizing an event, I was only selling free passes to the people who gathered outside. So how will the LCAP restrictions count? And how will they be accountable?
Sandeep also wants to make one. Fair enough. Sandeep also wants to make one. Sandeep, please go ahead.
Yeah. See, the government now says they are going to have a rule book and stuff like that, but that's really lame because the rules existed earlier. It was not, the due process was not followed. And the simple question I want to ask is this. If there was an elected city government, then the mayor would have been responsible for this. I'm sure all these politicians would have gunned for the mayor. Now, the state government has prevented elections for the last 5 years. Therefore, we don't have a mayor. Who is handling the administration of Bengaluru? It is the deputy CM. So, if the mayor could have been held responsible for this, why shouldn't the deputy CM be held responsible for this? Because he's playing the mayor of Bengaluru right now. And that's something they cannot escape.
You don't have elected
so they want to run the city. They don't want an elected city government, but they don't want to take responsibility for what when they do goof up.
Satyaprakash, there is no mayor for Bengaluru as of today.
Mayor and BPMP are not responsible for the law and order of this city. Ultimately, a law and order will come under the police.
For event permission, police and the local government have to give permission. It has been like this for decades.
It will come under the law and order will ultimately just because even if there was a BBMP without the police, what can they do? Poor guys, they can't do anything.
BBMP cannot be responsible.
One second. See, you cannot put the responsibility on the DCM because he went there as a guest. Someone calls you for a function. It is not his job to find out if the authorities there or guys who are doing that function have taken police permission. He has gone there in his capacity where he was invited as a guest. He says the KSCA invited him and he has gone there. And why the police commissioner was shunted is, Mr. Siddaramaiah has been very clear. After the incident happened at 3:30 also, he was not informed by the police commissioner. That is dereliction of duty. Please understand. He was not shunted out just like that. When such a big incident has happened, it was his bounden duty to inform the head of the state. That is why, he was put out. If he would have informed the chief minister that such a thing had happened, definitely the chief minister would have seen that, see, it was a catch-22 situation. Just imagine. If we had abruptly cancelled the KSCA show, just for a time being, there would have been more stampede. Please understand. There would be more or less restlessness because people came in lakhs.
Okay, Bhaskar Rao wants to comment.
55,000.
Bhaskar Rao, please go ahead.
The number of people outside KSCA was more than 1.5 lakhs.
For the Vidhan Soda event. And things were being changed one after the other. A bus was organized in which everybody was supposed to stand, the players were supposed to stand on the bus, and the bus was to be driven. Then they took a decision that they are going to cancel it. You have not planned anything. So if you have not planned anything, on whom does the responsibility? The Vidhan Soda event also had no permission. I have organized functions in Vidhan Soda where it takes 2-3 days for permission. The Vidhan Soda DCP has clearly mentioned, please don't do it. There is no possibility for us to do bandobast. And please bear in mind that the whole night Bangalore City Police was awake, and till 7:30 in the morning, celebrations were still going on. And then they take a decision to do it immediately just because the players happened to go to London that same night over there. And the players left and they succumbed to this decision over there. Government should have put its foot down, saying that, okay, we will have it after 2 days over there. You want to be here, you be here. But instead, they completely came under the control of RCB and all those organizers, and they overruled the police.
Okay.
Just by suspending the police commissioner, you have committed an act in which police has lost confidence in you. Look at now, you have placed Dayanand in charge of prison house. What is it? Nobody wants to work for the government at all because
we're running out of time over here. Quickly, Satyaprakash, I'll have you 10 seconds.
Let me assume what my friend Bhaskar Rao is telling is right. Then the same incident should have happened in front of Vidhan Soda also. Stampede should have happened in Vidhan Soda also. 10 or 11 people should have died there also. It didn't happen. So please understand, it was not the problem of events being held. It is the problem of events being mismanaged. Please understand.
Okay.
In Vidhan Soda was an open invitation. Nothing happened there. But there, for a crowd of 55,000, 1.5 to 2 lakhs people, sir. Who is responsible? The government is responsible, or RCB and KSC and the organizers who are responsible.
Okay. At this stage, the only thing I can think of is that let's hope that, in between all of this, all the right lessons have been learned so that another stampede doesn't take place in Bengaluru. But I'm afraid with that, it's a wrap over here. I'm going to thank Bhaskar Rao, Satyaprakash, Mayank Arora and Sandeep Anirudhan for taking time out to be with us here on this edition of In Your Interest. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.
अपनी सुपर पावर यूज करने का टाइम आ गया।
आप टेंशन मत लीजिए, IIFL फाइनेंस से झटपट गोल्ड लोन लीजिए और बिजनेस आगे बढ़ाइए।
लाइफ जब भी आगे बढ़ने का मौका दे, अपनी सुपर पावर, अपना गोल्ड यूज करिए और IIFL फाइनेंस से गोल्ड लोन लीजिए।
IIFL फाइनेंस करता है सीधी बात।
अर्जुन कुछ भी पढ़े मेमोरी में नहीं रहता।
Take a date, not bites. No added sugar, preservative के बिना डेट्स, बादाम, पिस्ता, काजू और शहद से तैयार किया गया Lion Dates Nut Bites.
Lion Date Nut Bites.
एक्सक्यूज मी, आपने भारत कनेक्ट का नाम सुना है?
कोई जॉब वेबसाइट है? वैकेंसी है?
जॉब्स नहीं, वो 700 से ज्यादा एप्स पे बिल पेमेंट्स पॉसिबल बनाते हैं।
वाओ!
आप हमें जानते नहीं पर मानते जरूर हैं। हम हैं भारत कनेक्ट।
आराम से
हाँ।
सामान देना भैया।
अब आगे क्या करना है? वो पिट्टू की पर्ची में देखो ना।
पर्ची?
देखो कहाँ गई पर्ची?
नमस्ते
जी।
हाँ?
मुझे पता है वो पर्ची में क्या लिखा होता है। आप चलिए मेरे साथ। व्हील चेयर। पर्ची में ये तो लिखा ही होगा कि सीधे फ्लाइट में नहीं चढ़ना है, थोड़ा घूम के जाना है। अब पर्ची में शॉपिंग की बात तो जरूर लिखी होती है। थोड़ी पेट पूजा की बात कोई पर्ची में ना लिखे, ऐसा हो सकता है? टिफिन लाए।
थैंक यू।
अरे पर्ची मिल गई।
पर्ची में तो ये सब लिखा ही नहीं था।
हम है ना आपकी पर्ची।
भीड़ में जो थाम ले
सिर्फ वर्ल्ड क्लास एयरपोर्ट्स नहीं चलाते हैं, आपके सफर में हम सफर बन जाते हैं। अदानी, हम करके दिखाते हैं।
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News9, English news as it should be.
A deeply shocking and explosive statement has emerged from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Former POK Prime Minister Chaudhry Anwarul Haq has publicly boasted about Pakistan's hand in terror attacks inside India, from Delhi's Red Fort to Kashmir's forests. Speaking in the POK assembly, Haq said, and I quote, "If you keep bleeding Balochistan, we will strike India from the Red Fort to the forests of Kashmir, and our Shaheens have done it. They still can't count." And he's gone on to say, make some atrocious remarks, a huge confession. His remarks refer to 2 horrific terror incidents. The November 10 blast near the Red Fort metro station that killed at least 15 people. And the Pahalgam massacre, where 26 tourists were brutally gunned down by Pakistan-backed terrorists.
तो कजिया कश्मीर के हवाले से भी मालिक ने मेरे पे करम किया। जो स्टेटस को मुझे मिला, मैंने उसमें कोई कमी नहीं आने दी। बोल के ये बात कही कि ये फितना खारिज नहीं है, फितना हिंदुस्तान है। इस खाकसार के पहले जुमले पर ये जुमले तब्दील हुए और रिकॉर्ड ने ये बात सुनी, तारीख ने, कि मैंने ये कहा कश्मीर हाउस में बैठ के कि अगर नहीं बाज आओगे बलूचिस्तान को ब्लीड करने से तो लाल किले से लेकर कश्मीर के जंगलों तक तुम्हें घुस के मारेंगे। और अल्लाह के फजलो करम से इस गुनाहगार के लफ्जों की अल्लाह पाक ने हुर्मत रखी। चंद दिनों बाद हमारी मुसल्लह अफवाज ने, हमारे शाहीनों ने अंदर घुस के मारा।
Well, I'm being joined by my colleague Brijesh Pandey at this point. Good evening, Brijesh. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, these are huge, shocking, outrageous statements, Brijesh. A direct confession from Pakistan, from the soil of Pakistan, of Pakistan's involvement in the ghastly Delhi terror attack.
Well, I think, it's time for the Western world also to take notice of these kind of statements which are emanating from the POK and also from other, Pakistani leaders. And they, the common narration that, that the any attack which happens within Southeast Asia, basically referring to India only, is not a terror attack, and terror attack becomes terror attack only when it happens in Western world. It's time for the Western world to shed the hypocrisy and also take concerns of, security concerns of India vis-a-vis these kind of terror attacks. I think what the POK former Prime Minister of POJK has said is something which is an open secret now, and it looks like he's completely divorced from reality. The fact is that forget POJK, we have seen how even the army chief, the head of Pakistani military, was scurrying for cover when the Indian retaliated post Pahalgam massacre, and what happened after that was there for everyone to see. But one thing is very clear, that this particular statement clearly reveals the mindset of Pakistani leaders, that the only language they understand, the only way they know how to engage is the language of terrorism. And I think India has to keep on pressing, as we have seen the kind of narrative which India has been building post Pahalgam massacre, where we've seen External Affairs Minister clearly pointing that there's no way you are going to whitewash terrorism anymore, and you have to call the spade a spade, and a terror sponsored nation a terrorist sponsoring nation. So the time has come for India also to assert in a big way, as it is exposing Pakistan as every possible world forum, but the time has also come for the Western world to shed their hypocrisy when it comes to terrorism.
Absolutely, Brijesh. In fact, it's interesting that you started by saying it's high time that the Western world now takes a stand, and that's quite true in a fact, because just look at the last few months itself, whether it be Prime Minister Modi in the international platforms, even for his bilateral meets for that matter, or whether it be External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar, who as recent as the SCO summit went all out against terror and said terror cannot be whitewashed, terror cannot be looked away from. Terrorism is terrorism and has to be dealt with and has to be addressed straight on. And possibly this is just yet another example of what India has been again and again putting forth before the international forums.
Well, absolutely. And I think, if you look at the fact that, post Pahalgam massacre, when the complicity of Pakistan behind that dastardly terror attack in which 26 tourists were gunned down, India retaliated in kind and content and completely changed its foreign policy, saying that an act of terror is an act of war. And the kind of heightened tension made sure that the world also realized that it's a completely different India. But the fact of the matter is, we also saw the butcher of Pahalgam, Asim Munir, being feted by a United States president, and not once but several times. So it clearly, it dilutes the entire narration about how the world is serious vis-a-vis terrorism, and it also, sends a message to India as well that the time has come for India to take care of its own interest and be not dependent on any other country, come what may, when it comes to to make sure that no such terror attack further takes place on the Indian soil. I think what the former Prime Minister of POJK has said is something which everyone in India knows about, the nefarious intent and activity of Pakistan when it came to either the Red Fort blast case, where the links of which is emanating from Bangladesh to Turkey, and also the fact that how time has come for India to not to have anybody or waiting for anybody to bolster the cause of India, and time has come for India to walk the talk when it comes to terrorism, because we have seen time and again, Sneha, that whenever it comes to terrorism, for Western world, the top superpowers, terrorism is only when their interest gets hit. Terrorism is not when when someone like India, which has been at the receiving end of this low simmer terror warfare for almost 30 years now, it doesn't make any sense. So I think time has come for India also to walk the talk and make sure that it is there to take care of all its interests.
Brijesh, thank you very much for joining us on this very, very important development. We'll have to see how India officially responds to this. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, the stage is set for Nitish Kumar to take oath as Bihar's Chief Minister for a historic 10th term. Nitish Kumar has been unanimously elected as the NDA legislative leader, a moment celebrated with garlands and applause from senior leaders. He has resigned as Chief Minister, and NDA leaders submitted a letter of support to the governor. After meeting the governor, Nitish returned to his residence, marking the start of yet another chapter in his long political history. News9 also has an inside scoop of Nitish Babu's strategic move. Nitish Kumar recommended Samrat Chaudhary as Deputy Chief Minister, pending BJP's initial plans to bring in 2 new faces, including a woman leader. To avoid internal friction, the BJP eventually decided to retain both deputy CMs, maintaining alliance harmony. Nitish Kumar has a history of forging strong bonds within the BJP. In 2017, he vetoed attempts to sideline Sushil Modi from the Deputy Chief Minister post. Today, the same trust seems to exist with Samrat Chaudhary, ensuring a smooth NDA partnership once again. A shocking controversy has erupted in Tamil Nadu as Prime Minister Modi reached Coimbatore. A video has